In today's session of Divorce Court, Brittany Brown says she never meant to marry her husband, Adam.
I was tricked into marrying him.
You in love with the idea of being married, putting on a white wedding gown, going down the aisle, having a baby, and by then you had had sex with him, so your body was feeling pretty good. Now that's what got you married.
She says he never worked.
I come home, the baby would stink, her diaper would be soaked from front to back.
Spent all her money on a fish tank.
He spent $30 on a rock. He brings home an $80 fish. They eat all the $60 fish.
And found him with another woman.
I caught him kissing a girl in our front yard.
Who was this, kissing cousin?
It was my brother's girlfriend, and I was just
Your
outside.
brother's girlfriend? Oh my goodness.
How could someone stay married to a man like that?
Now Brittany Brown wants Adam Brown to pay as they face off in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Brittany Brown versus Adam Brown. Mrs. Brown, I'm advised that after 2.5 years of marriage, you're ready to end it. I mean, what could make you want to throw away a marriage so soon?
Because this man would rather pour thousands of dollars into a fish aquarium than take care of his wife and his little girl.
A fish aquarium, is that his hobby?
It was supposed to be an investment, but
It didn't invest too well.
all he invested was his time and his money.
So in the meanwhile, you and your daughter suffered?
Yeah,
No,
basically he
not
came.
at all.
He spent $30 on a rock to
What do
put
you mean,
in
a
the
rock?
aquarium. A
The
decorative
rock that you put inside the aquarium?
to put inside the aquarium.
And he should have been spending that $30 on what?
I mean, if you don't have $30, I mean, I
Well,
can
obviously
understand.
he had it. What do you think he should have spent it on?
No, he has. I mean, our little girl's going without diapers, and we have no groceries
She
in the
never
house.
went
He brings
without.
home
That's not
an
true.
$80 fish. They eat all the $60 fish.
And then he has to feed it.
Yeah, and then he has to get $12 little fish food to feed the $80 fish.
So in other words, he has an expensive hobby that he can't
Very
afford.
expensive.
At the
I
expense
That
of
I
his
can't
wife
afford
and daughter.
either.
What's going on, Mr. Brown? You like the fish more than you like your daughter and your wife?
It was a good investment. The reason it didn't work is because we ended up moving.
So that's why it didn't work?
Well,
Your Honor,
yeah.
it didn't
Or
work.
did you take a risk at investing in the fish and meaning your daughter didn't have diapers?
It was a risk, but my daughter never went without.
Because
So
my
why?
mother.
Did you put her on your shirt
My
or
mother
something?
bought them.
Oh, because your mother
My mother
bought
bought them.
So is that why she didn't go without? Because someone else provided for her?
She loaned us the money a couple of times, but
That we
it
still
was
owe
always
her.
paid back.
So why would you invest in fish over diapers and food for your family?
I never did it over or instead of.
So then why did your parents have to help you out, or her parents?
It wasn't her parents that helped us out. It was my
Whose
uncle.
parents was it?
It was my uncle that helped us
Your
out.
Honor,
Okay, it
it
was
was-
your uncle. What does it matter? The point is that you're investing in fish instead of investing in your daughter and your wife and your household.
That's not true. My daughter never went without.
So why is your uncle giving you giving you money and helping you out? Because
For
he just
rent?
wanted to give up his money?
No.
If he has that much to give, tell him to pass some this way. So why is he doing it?
Because he's a nice guy, I guess.
Oh, please. Now you think that he just wants to buy your daughter diapers because he's a nice guy and he couldn't go out and buy something else?
Well, there was times when we needed it, but at the time that I bought the fish, my daughter was not going without.
Did you have any extra money coming into the house?
Yes.
So this
Mine.
was your extra money that you were using? What do you mean you had extra money yours? Weren't you his wife?
I was working. He wouldn't work. He would not hold down a job. So I said, okay, stay home, take care of the baby. I'll work.
So
Well,
the
I
extra money was your money?
I would leave in the morning, and I would come home. He would still be asleep, and the baby would be in the same diaper that I left her in.
That's
when
not
I
You mean in
left.
a soiled diaper all day?
That's not true.
It
That's
happened
not
many
funny.
times.
I don't know why you're
Your Honor.
smiling.
It happened many times.
Then that creates diaper rash and other problems.
I was
That's not
very
true.
fortunate she never got a diaper rash, but
If your daughter never got a diaper rash and he left
mean,
her in the
from-
same diaper all day long, he didn't leave her in the same diaper all day long.
well, it was from 7 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I would come home. Her diaper would be soaked from front to back, completely soaked. Sometimes her pajamas would be soaked.
That never happened.
She had cereal nipples that I would put cereal in the bottle and feed her cereal. He would never check the nipples. She would gulp down the milk and throw it up.
and
he
choke
wouldn't.
all over himself, and it's all over the bed.
He wouldn't. I come home, the baby would stink. She
Are
would.
you that lazy and trifling,
No,
Mr. Brown?
ma'am. I don't know where she's
You don't
getting
know
all
what
this
she's
from.
talking about, huh? Because you change your baby's diaper how often?
Every time it needs to be changed.
How often was that?
Once an hour.
Oh, that's what he said. One time
If
an hour.
we went through diapers, if he changed her once an hour, we would we would have to buy diapers every day.
You sure would. And you didn't buy them every day?
Not when she was, I mean, they would last maybe a week.
So you want to divorce him because he bought a fish tank and invested in that
It's
as
more
opposed
than
to
that.
that?
It's more than that, Your
Well,
Honor.
tell me more, because that seems to be a small reason for a divorce, because that's something that you can simply remedy. He just stops the investment in the fish, or you get rid of the fish, sell it, get rid of it.
It was betrayal and lies. I guess he had a job delivering pizzas overnight, but he would come home at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
I never
and I'd ask
came
him,
home
where
that
have you
late.
been? I've been working.
You mean you guess he had a job delivering? Why do you have to guess about it?
Because he lies. I can't ever believe anything he says because it's
Did
all
you ever
lies.
see a paycheck from the pizza delivery company?
I think I seen one, and it was for like, I don't even remember,
Well,
but it
when you
couldn't have
deliver
added up
pizzas,
for
don't you
all
have
the
on a-
hours.
Don't you have to put on a pizza uniform?
No, he never left in a pizza uniform, ever. I never seen anything on the car that said he delivered pizzas, like the little Domino's sign or something.
But he
Nothing.
told you that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he'd be out all night long and come home the next morning.
Yeah.
And so you think that he was having an affair with somebody else, or you
No,
know
I
it?
think he was just out partying with his friends, or just, I have no idea
What's
what
your
he was
basis
really
for
doing.
thinking that?
Because it's just lie. I've caught him in lies before.
Well,
I've
what kind
tricked
of lie
him.
have you caught him in?
Um,
Got to think about it, huh?
I caught him kissing a girl in our front yard, and
After you were married?
Yeah, after we
Well,
were
now
married.
that gives you reason to think that he may have somebody else.
And I thought
Who
that
was
maybe-
this, kissing cousin? Who was that, Mr. Brown?
It was my brother's girlfriend, and I was just
Your
outside.
brother's girlfriend? Oh, my goodness.
I wasn't out. I wasn't kissing
You
her.
couldn't even go find somebody on your own?
Your
You
Honor,
had to
he
deal
was
with your brother's
kissing her.
girlfriend?
He was kissing her.
When divorce court returns, the judge sets Brittany straight.
Your own mind tricked you into it and deceived you. You in love with the idea of being married, putting on a white wedding gown, going down the aisle, having a baby, and by then you had had sex with him, so your body was feeling pretty good. Now that's what got you married.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Brittany Brown, who says her husband Adam cared more about his exotic fish aquarium than about his family.
You weren't kissing her?
No.
He
Well,
was
why did I say who was
Your
it you were
Honor-
kissing? You said my brother's girlfriend.
You didn't ask me that question.
Yes, I did. She said you were kissing a girl in the front yard, and I,
I
said,
wasn't
who was
kissing
this?
anybody in the front yard.
Oh, you didn't understand the question.
I was admitting to being in the front yard with somebody. I was not admitting to kissing anyone.
Well, maybe
was
your
kissing
lips
her,
were
Your Honor.
touching. Were your lips touching?
No.
Were you talking to each other real close?
No.
Wasn't even close together?
No, we were sitting next to each other on the grass.
No, they
So
were
your
standing.
wife has, she has this vivid imagination?
I just pull stuff out of the air.
Well, what's the pictures you have?
I have the pictures of the fish tank.
Oh, the fish tank that ruined the marriage?
Part of.
Well, what about the
ruined the
betrayal?
marriage.
What betrayal? He's saying I wasn't there with the girlfriend kissing her. What
I
made you
talked to
think
the
he was
girl.
kissing her?
I talked to the girl.
What, did you see it with your eyes?
Yeah, I seen him, and I thought that maybe it was just a shadow, that they looked like, because no wife wants to admit that her husband is kissing another woman.
You don't want to admit it, but if you see it, you
But
know
if
what
you see it, So I talked to the girl, and the girl admitted that she was kissing him, and she.
Why did you have to talk to her if you saw it?
Because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that he.
So you walked up to her and said,
that
I
it could
saw you
go that
kissing, but I'm
far.
asking you, were you kissing?
I asked her, what was going on, and she said she was looking for his lighter. I mean, I don't know why his.
So then she didn't say that she kissed him.
But yeah, she admitted that she kissed him. I got it out of her that she kissed him.
But you didn't get it
That's
out of
not
your
true.
husband.
Yeah, he admitted that because she had been bragging about sleeping
Well,
with him.
he's denying it now, so he's lying to me or he lied to you. Which is it?
I never admitted to it. I
Yeah,
don't
he
know what
did.
she's talking
Yes, he
about.
did.
You have
Because
not a
she
clue
had
what she's
bragged-
talking about.
She's making it up.
She tricked you into saying something and you don't know what you said. Well, let me ask you, have you been faithful to your wife?
Yes, I have.
No,
have
he
you had
hasn't.
any outside
Until
affairs?
the time after this separation, she
Until
was
what?
saying after we were separated, I was calling her every day, trying to get back with her, and she told my sister that I should get a girlfriend to get over her.
So
And
that's when you went to someone else.
no,
I told his
it was a
sister
couple,
that if
3 weeks after she started saying I should get a girlfriend, I should get a girlfriend. Well,
3 weeks,
so I
Your
figured,
Honor.
So you accepted her invitation and found you a girlfriend.
yeah.
So what's this? What's the betrayal? That's what you're talking about? Somebody else?
Your Honor, I paid our rent. I mean, all of the money
never
that
paid for
all of the
anything.
money that I had, all of the money I made went to our bills. All of the money he made went to speakers in the car, went to this fish tank, or went to having fun. He never would step up to the plate and be a husband or be a father.
That's
So
not
you
true.
paid all the rent, all while you were married?
All of the money I ever made went to bills or went to Nicole.
So is this talking about while the two of you were living together?
Yeah.
And he wasn't working and contributing?
He would keep a job for maybe 2 weeks.
So what do you want me to do about that?
How could someone stay married to a man like that?
All right, you're going to divorce him. What else you want me to do?
I want to be reimbursed for the rent.
Reimbursed
that I
for
paid.
what?
For the rent that I paid.
Reimbursed for the rent that you paid while the two
I
of
have
you lived
receipts.
together?
Yeah, I have, because it's not. I had a newborn baby.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she was a month old when I started working.
Was he working when you met him?
No, when I met him, he was not working.
And so he continued not
When
to
we
work?
got married, he was not working.
So he continued not to work. What else changed?
Because it was. Well, I
So if you
promised
met
I'll get
him,
a
he wasn't
job,
working. If
and
you married him, he wasn't working. Who did you
I
think was going to pay the rent?
I was tricked into marrying him.
Miss Brown, you did not get tricked. You knew exactly what you were doing.
I knew I was getting married, but
And you
at
knew he was
14, you
into
don't
it.
think of the. I mean, I was more in love with the thought of a wedding and a dress and a cake than being in love with him and being married for the rest of my life.
And you're right, but he didn't trick you into that. Your own mind tricked you into it and deceived you. You were in love with the idea of being married, putting on a white wedding gown, going down the aisle, having a baby, and by then you had had sex with him, so your body was feeling pretty good. Now that's what got you married.
Your Honor, when I was with him, he made the moves. I mean, okay, I was.
Mrs. Brown, you're talking.
It's not an excuse for me. It is
No.
not an excuse for me to say.
So let's move on. He didn't trick you into marriage. You made a decision. It wasn't quite a good decision, but you made the
Exactly.
decision.
Exactly.
All right, and so now you paid for the rent after you married him. What did those marriage vows say that you wanted to march down that aisle and you wanted to be in that white wedding dress? What did the preacher say?
Love, honor, and obey, and all that.
And what else?
I don't even remember.
Don't even remember. You weren't even
don't
listening.
even
You were just
remember.
caught up in the dream, in the fantasy.
Exactly.
It
I
said
was.
for better, for worse.
Yeah.
For richer or for poor. You knew then that you was worse. You knew then he didn't have a job. So why did you marry knowing that you couldn't provide and you weren't going to take care of her as a husband?
I wanted to make the best of things. I wanted to give it a try.
And what were
Just
you going to do to give it a try? Those words sound so good.
get a job and do the best I could.
So
to
did you
be
get a job?
provider. Yes, I did.
So did the rent get paid?
Yes, it did.
So how do I know who paid it? You said you
I have
paid it.
receipts.
He says I
have
paid
receipts right here
it. Okay,
with my
will the
name on
receipts
them.
tell me who paid the rent?
They have my name on them.
Let me see.
It doesn't say where the money came from.
There you go, Mr. Brown. You're getting pretty smart.
All I can say, you know,
The receipt says Brittany. Doesn't even say a last name. On one, the other receipt says Brittany paid $450. The other receipt says Brittany Brown $140. Does it tell me where the money came from?
No, it doesn't, Your Honor.
It tells me that you took the money to the landlord and the landlord wrote you the receipt, right?
It
Now
is.
prove to
but
me.
how could it be his money when he's dumping it all into a fish tank?
Well, he said he was working and he wasn't dumping into a fish tank.
Well, the only way to make a decision on that is to believe him, and I can't believe a word he says.
And how do I believe you?
Because
So of the rents that you paid, how much came from your uncle? Out of this receipt, how much came from the uncle?
probably quite a bit of it.
Quite a bit that's in these
But, Your
receipts.
Honor, my point is...
No, this is my point. You gave me receipts that said you paid the rent. How much of this rent receipt came from his uncle?
I can't really recall if it... I know that the money that I made went to the
No,
bills.
answer my question. How much came from the uncle?
I don't know how much...
My point exactly. So how do I know that this receipt says all of this money came from Miss Brown?
Just by my words, by believing me.
So, Mr. Brown, do you think you're responsible for this rent?
I think some of the money may have come out of my pocket.
You think
I
it
can't-
may have come out of your
No.
pocket? Now
It's
you're
quite
thinking it may
possible.
have come out of your pocket. It may have come out of my pocket, but I know that's not a reality. May? Let me ask it again.
Well, there's no way to know for sure.
Did you pay any rent?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You're sure about that?
Yes.
So it's no longer a may? It's a fact?
I can't prove that I paid the rent that's on those receipts.
I didn't ask you about these receipts.
Yeah, I definitely paid rent.
What else you want from me? Is this the rent when you were living together? That's what you're talking about.
I want child support.
Okay.
The whole time we have been separated, he has not bought one thing for my little girl,
That's
for our
not
little
true.
girl.
That's
And
not
it's
even
huge.
true.
Your Honor, Christmas, we had plans. He was going to take her Christmas Eve, and he was going to take her Christmas Day. I would have her Christmas Eve night and Christmas morning. He never called. He never came by. He didn't even see her until after New Year's.
How much support are you paying for your child?
Nothing.
I haven't been paying anything.
Oh, you know that as a fact that you haven't paid any support.
In over a year.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
He wasn't working when you met him, and he wasn't working when you married him. It should have been a clue that he probably wouldn't be working when he was with you.
And an update on the case of Jan Borum versus Philip Borum.
And I said, what is she doing in our bedroom? Go
Great.
home and take care of your own husband and leave mine alone.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back in the case of Brittany Brown, who says her husband Adam would rather buy exotic fish for his aquarium than diapers and food for their daughter.
How much do you want to contribute toward the support of this child?
I'm willing to contribute $150 a month at least.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
150.
And are you living with your uncle?
No.
He's living with a friend.
What kind of friend?
Just a friend.
Female friend, male friend?
He's a male friend.
So you're taking care of yourself and supporting yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mrs. Brown, I can't order him to reimburse you for the rent that you paid while the two of you were living together.
The rent, fine. But, I mean, I have his little girl.
Can I
take
finish?
care of her. Yes, sorry.
The reason I can't order that is because when you marry somebody and you're husband and wife and you live together, it's not unusual at all that one spouse works and pays the bills and the other spouse doesn't work and pay the bills. I don't care if it's male or female. You're still one. You're husband and wife. So this time it happened to have been you working and paying the bills. You don't get reimbursed because you did what a spouse does.
I understand that.
If you don't want to pay all the expenses, you have to check that out before you marry somebody, not after the fact. But if he wasn't working when you met him and he wasn't working when you married him, it should have been a clue that he probably wouldn't be working when he was with you.
Exactly.
In terms of child support, Mr. Brown, on the other hand, I can order you to pay. And I will order you to pay. And $150 per month is insufficient, in my opinion. And therefore, my order is $400 per month. That's the order of the court. That's all I can do for you. I cannot get the rent reimbursed. You have anything to say, Mr. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Court's adjourned.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Jan Borum versus Philip Borum.
He was hiding in the men's bathroom, so I walked into the men's bathroom and I backhanded him across the face.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Janet Borum said she gave everything she had to her husband Philip, and he repaid her by having an affair with another woman.
And I said, what is she doing in our bedroom? Go
Great.
home and take care of your own husband and leave mine alone. He was hiding in the men's bathroom, so I walked into the men's bathroom and I backhanded him across the face.
You did?
Yes, I did.
I want
So
a
do you
divorce.
think that...
Fine, then you can have your divorce.
Thank you.
But you're not going to get Bobby.
Janet brought Philip to court because she wanted his truck and all of their furniture. The judge awarded the truck to Philip and the furniture to Janet. After her court appearance, Janet confessed she was facing fraud charges. She is now serving time in prison. Philip's girlfriend Tammy broke up with him, and he now plans to fight for sole custody of his son.
I will date other people. I'll move on with my life. This is just a bump in the road.
I think things between me and Brittany will go okay. I mean, she's pretty nice when I call up to visit my daughter and stuff. Most of the time she lets me see her.
I can positively say that we will never date again. We will never, this marriage is completely over.